what is the Professional Doctorate at US about? It's a blended program that's part-time. It's designed so that you do that alongside your professional work. And it combines innovative ways of learning with what we are hoping are innovative partnerships with your work, whether you're working in the private, public sector, and increasingly we have international students. And the thesis in the whole program is really designed around learning that is not traditional and conventional, but takes on board a lot of new ways of learning and new ways of partnership, and involves the capacity to present what you learn in multimedia formats. So the basis of it is to develop research that has practical application in your work. Emma, would you like to move on to the next slide?
Yeah.
So some important things about the program. Our whole philosophy is about developing a community of learning. Research, like many other complex tasks, is something that you learn by seeing other people do and other people think through how they design it and how they meet the challenges of it. So instead of it being a top-down course, which relies on just a few experts, we're really encouraging everyone who comes on the Professional Doctorate to learn from each other as you skill up and as you test the ideas and the possible designs of research that you would like to use. And as I said just a few minutes ago, we have a range of ways that you can evidence this learning and this research. There is the traditional 50,000 word written thesis, which is about a piece of applied research in your work setting. And there's also a portfolio thesis, which can bring together a range of documentation of an innovation in different media, forms of media. And that is supported by a 10,000 word report, which maps that to the literature to show that your innovation is in conversation with the academic literature and cutting edge knowledge in your field. And the second point is to say that we try to always work so that the skills that you're learning, all of our assessments are designed to develop transferable skills. So they're not just academic essays, they're posters, they're presentations, they're article drafts, so that whatever you're doing as an assessment piece has a transferable value and you can disseminate it through your professional networks so that your professional standing is increasing while you're on the program. And the other key asset for the Professional Doctorate here at UWS is that there is a rich postgraduate community and a range of additional supports. Either through the library, there's a range of support in terms of that kinds of materials you can access. And our postgraduate and doctoral college also has a strong program of training events, of writing retreats, and Stephanie Zim, who's a key academic there, is also posting out to all sorts of resources internationally across academic networks. And she's bringing those so that they're quite easy to access for students here at UWS. So on to the next slide. You may be wondering what people think who are on the program. And so I just thought it would be useful to see some of the words of a current student. And as I was saying about those transferable skills, one of the points that she makes is that the benefits spill over into the day-to-day job with enhanced critical thinking skills that you can use to develop and evaluate projects and in operational planning. A further benefit, she says, is being part of a cohort of students from across professional fields, sharing ideas, readings, and skills at the online sessions and also in the community of practice groups. These have been proved to be an invaluable support. And I think one of the things that's coming across in this quote is that the program is interdisciplinary. And increasingly, I think whatever sector you work in, It's important to understand the views of other sectors. And that's one of the things that the program does. It helps you learn from people who may be coming to the same problem as you're interested in, but coming to it with a different disciplinary background and a different professional practice experience. Okay, Emma, thank you. Can you move on to the next slide? Right, I think it was there in one of the earlier slides. The Prof Doc has a 2-year taught component, which helps you develop the skills and also gives you a chance to do, take stock. What is it that you really want to learn, or what is it you want to develop in your professional setting? And after that 2-year taught period, you then transfer to working with a particular bespoke supervisory team that helps you complete your research project and your thesis. And one of the supervisors who's currently supervising on the program, again, she emphasizes through active inquiry in their professional setting, these students have developed as reflective and research-informed practitioners. If you are looking to study that will challenge your thinking and have a direct impact on the context in which you work, then the Professional Doctorate is the program for you. Emma, can we have the next slide? Next slide. There we go. So to apply, please send us a detailed curriculum vitae with both your academic and your professional work detailed. We want a short, 500 words is about the right. Please don't worry about word count, but 500 words is about the ballpark. A description of your professional and organizational role, and that identifies a potential area of research that you're interested in. We also need you to have a conversation if you're in employment with your line manager. If you're self-employed, you have to have that conversation with yourself, or if you're maybe the CEO, you need to have to know that the board supports you're doing the program. And so if you are employed, we need a reference from your line manager. We also need an academic reference. And there's a if you go to look at our research degrees on the web, you'll get a link directly to the application. And if you're interested, I can send you these slides, and the link to apply is there. It can be a little tricky getting to the application if you just go in blind to the system. Because we're a blended program that's part taught, part research, we need to send you a deep link to the application so that you can make that application. And the last slide, yes, thank you for listening. To find out more about the Professional Doctorate at UWS, there is my email, and there is that link to the research degree program. And it tells you a lot more about what the modules are on the program, and what our philosophy is, and the modes of learning on the program. So that's my presentation. And now I'd like to open it up to you. If we can close the presentation, then we can, if people want to ask questions in the chat, or if you want to unmute yourself and ask a question, that's welcome too.
Beth, sorry, I don't have a hand to raise. Thank you very much for your presentation. My name is Gillian Davis. I'm a consultant nurse by background in mental health, and also principal educator at NHS Education for Scotland just now. Really interested in contemporary mental health nursing, I think, and how the sort of models of care move forward, really toying with the idea around about continuing my academic career along with professional practice. And I just wondered around about sort of start dates for the programme, and obviously sort of when the expected start dates of the next programme would be.
Right, so we start with the next academic year. And postgraduate programs start the 3rd week of September. There's a week of induction activities, and then our program relies on weekends and evenings. And I know that's not always as easy for nursing professionals to access. It doesn't mean that they're not on call or on shift, but what we try to do is you'll have notice of all the weekends at the beginning of the year. And so we'll have the first weekend of the program right at the end of September. And that means a Friday evening, which we deliver virtually and builds on online tasks you'll have been doing in the induction week. And then we're meeting on campus, delighted to be doing that after last year's completely virtual delivery. We'll be meeting on Paisley campus for the Saturday component. Then students engage online, either in smaller working groups or as a whole cohort until the end of the semester, when we again have another Friday evening catch up together virtually, and then a Saturday at the campus. And I say Saturday at the campus, we're working in our classrooms of the future, which not only allow people to be there virtually for whole class activities, but also have the capacity for people to join in small group work virtually as well. So if you need to, if there's a reason you can't make it to campus, or if that's just going to work best for you, you even are on face-to-face on-campus sessions are accessible remotely. So Jillian, I'm not sure, did I answer most of your questions? I think there were quite a few, so you might need to remind me, is there one I didn't cover?
No, I think that's perfect. I suppose I was just thinking about how much time do you think each week you need to dedicate to study for the Prof Doc?
And that really does depend on where you are at now and how long it's been since you studied. So for candidates who have done or kind of do research as part of their remit, or who have recently studied and it's fresh in their mind what the paradigms are, the theoretical approaches are. If you're already conversant with that, then I think the workload is less per week. It's probably, I would say, between 3 to 6 hours a week, because there will be readings and there will be videos to watch and a conversation that we want you to join in. If that is a little more distant and you're coming back from a lot of work that's professional and maybe complex work that doesn't fit so easily into some of the academic paradigms, it will take you more time per week, maybe 6 to 10 hours.
No, that makes perfect sense. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. We look forward to having your application. Are there other questions? I'm interested to know, so Jillian, perhaps you were saying you're interested in contemporary mental health. So that would be, your research area would be looking at some facet of that here in Scotland?
Yes, I think so. I'm interested in sort of contemporary mental health nursing and models of care, and really what does that mean to nurse and deliver contemporary mental health care in the 21st century. I think as other professional groups have evolved, potentially mental health nursing has maybe not evolved as much as it could have done or should have done.
Right,
and I think that would be really interesting. I mean, I have many strands of interest, again, around about education and how we deliver education in a sort of digital format as well moving forward. So, but I'm very much aligned to professional practice. And I think that's why the professional doctorate really resonates with me, because it's something you can apply that would assist your practice. And my practice is, say, in the day job as a consultant nurse, so I don't work clinically anymore. It's very much a professional role or an education role.
Yeah, but it sounds like there are a lot of different pieces to the puzzle there, because if you're asking that question, should we be innovating? What form of innovation to stay abreast of changes that other professionals you need to work with in providing mental health services? So there's a policymaker component of that, there's frontline, and there's also people like yourselves who are involved in the education and development. Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's how one influences the other, I think,
Yeah,
is
yeah,
really interesting.
yeah,
And I think moving to this role within NHS education, you know, that's part of the interest, is actually how you influence the national direction. And we do that as boards, and working in the board, and you sort of you influence from a far reach. However, when you work in education, it's potentially the push and the pull against
yeah.
policy. So I think that's where the research comes in really very interestingly, and these are all just concepts just now in my mind, but that is some of the areas of interest.
And both myself and Kate come from a policy research background. So I've done research on adult support and protection, and on getting it right for every child within the midwifery team. And both of those pieces were Scottish government commissioned pieces of research. So I would just agree with you that there are many moving parts, but it is critical how frontline practitioners understand and implement. You can have the best policy in the world, but if it is actually clashing with other demands, or if the frontline don't understand and feel like they can own it, there's a lot of difficulties. So that anyway, that's my interest, is how that conversation happens, and what can be done to enable better conversations between the different people in the different positions. So I'd be interested to talk further with you about that.
No, that would be fascinating. Thank you.
Okay.
Hello there, I'm Linda Aitken and I work at UWS. I'm interested in this particular programme, but I'm also interested to understand better the difference between the Professional Doctorate and the DBA that the university also runs, and also costings, if there's any sort of price available.
Okay, I can. I'm Nick Telford, who is helping redesign the DBA.
That's
and
right.
I'm not sure that they're admitting students this year. I think they're in a developmental phase, but we've worked together on a few projects, and we're just in discussion. So I think that the DBA, in some ways, I think almost any sector is having to move to a more interprofessional conversation, or being aware of developments across a number of disciplines. But I think the DBA is in a way more the particular skills within business administration. And I think it has more of it's not quantitative research, but a quantitative focus in terms of finance and marketing, and that has more of an emphasis on the mathematical skill set that comes with working with those particular disciplines. If your interest is more about professional relationships or leadership, or how a particular mode of business interfaces with health, interfaces with social work, or any of the other public sectors, then I think the professional doctorate would be more of a fit, because for many more years we have been developing an interprofessional and interdisciplinary approach. But I think the DBA, I wouldn't want to say the DBA doesn't have any elements of that, because I think that is their intention as well. And in terms of cost, it's a part-time program, so you pay a part-time fee, postgraduate fee, and that is $3,254, I believe, this year for the professional doctorate for Scottish and students, and it is internationally, it's roughly double of that, around 6,150. So Linda, does that answer your question?
Yes, that's fine, thank you.
And so, yeah, if you have further questions, are you working in the creative industries, business and creative industries?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I work in the quality department. I've just finished the university's MBA with
Ah,
distinction and winning the court medal. So I'm interested in progressing my studies further.
well, that's wonderful. Congratulations. And it sounds like you've had your appetite whetted for academic discussion.
Yes, I thoroughly enjoyed the DBA. Thoroughly enjoyed the MBA. And it was with Nick Telford as well. That was one of my lecturers. So I know Nick. I know I'm familiar with the work that he's doing to refresh the DBA. So yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, and I think he has a very interesting background in humanities, which is why he can bring that mix. One of the things that we thought we might be doing to work across the DBA and the professional doctorate is to have some joint activities for our students. And I think the DBA will also be taking, if you work at UWS, we have this learning festival. So I'll just give you an example. On the professional doctorate, in the first year, one of your second term assessments is a poster. And you can develop that poster, you present it to the class, but that paves the way for you to present that poster, which is one of the events at UWS Learning Festival. And all postgraduate research students are encouraged to participate in either giving a 3-minute thesis, a traditional paper presentation, or a poster. And there are prizes for the best. So you might find that there's further competitions that you might be interested in, whether you go through the DBA or the professional doctorate round. But do look, on the last page of the slides, there's a link to our program descriptor. And you can find out in much more depth what the reading list is and what the module learning outcomes are. So Linda, you might be interested to do that.
Thanks very much.
All right, who else is here? Would anyone like to type a message, type a question? We've already heard from people in different professions who are considering joining us. And I'm just wondering if there are a few other professional sectors represented out there in those who are listening today.
Hi, Beth. Hiya. Hi, I'm just like Linda. I've just less than 3 years qualified from UWS as well. Graduated with a court medal in Masters in Nursing. And I'm currently working as a mental health nurse within the community. So as a part of my dissertation in Masters, I did adverse childhood experiences and how that affects
right, ACEs.
Yeah, ACEs. And I would like to gain more academic knowledge and research more into it, because that ties up with current national trauma training. That's a big movement, so that's how I was quite interested to know about this program.
Certainly. I mean, I think that is an important topic, and a trauma-informed workforce is becoming something that there are much more conversations about. So your real interest is coming back to academic readings, having had 3 years of professional experience. Is that right?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's an excellent reason to consider the professional doctorate, is when you have lived experience of your profession and you would like to look in a more fine-grained and nuanced ways at the models and the theories that are supposed to help explain what is happening in the professional settings. And I think that there is a new language evolving around this and a questioning of old assumptions. Is that your sense as well?
Yeah. My question is, like, would I have to leave my job to pursue this academic, or would I be able to do it as because
you
currently
can't do the program if you leave your job. That's why we're saying you need to have your line managers a reference from your line manager and let us know that you've had a conversation with them, because the whole idea is that actually the time that you're spending in your profession is a resource to draw on. And the time on the professional doctorate is time to reflect or process or think through, depending on the theoretical paradigm you're working in, what exactly is happening at a, that is complex and emerging in the field.
Yep.
So it's and that's one thing to think about in terms of what you might want to do as a project. What kind of project will blend well, will mean that what you're doing in your day-to-day professional life is something that complements what you're going to be researching, so that they feed each other rather than fight each other.
Yep, thank you.
You're welcome. So it sounds like that there is some similar interests here, and I can't stress enough that we think we do bring to the program people with a lot to offer each other. And as that one student that I quoted earlier was saying, learning from each other, both either when you have a similar interest or if you're coming from different perspectives, both enrich the program. So a lot of times it's well evidenced in the literature that a PhD study can be quite lonely. And we try to reverse that in the program so that you're not swimming alone ever. That through the taught phase, you do really build up allies and people that you can show first drafts to. When you get an idea and you're first beginning to think it over, you should have people that you feel like you can go to sound out what you're doing. And as well as the staff, it's not just Kate and myself, but a range of academics from across health and life sciences, education and social sciences, and business and creative industries. Okay, so I'm gonna try to put the, Jillian's asked if I can put the link in the chat, and I am not working on my own computer. I'm working on, and I'm sorry that it doesn't seem that my video is coming up, which is, I also have to apologize for. So I am, I'm gonna try to, yeah, I think I'll be able to manage it here. Okay, so there's a couple of places a couple of links I'm going to try to put in the chat for you. But while I'm doing that, if you have questions, more questions, put them in the chat as well. Okie doke, that one. I'm on annual leave, but this was too good a chance to pass up. So I'm not even in my own home. Let alone my own office. But let me see if I can now get back to the Zoom screen. There, I think I am. Okay, so this is where the program specifications are. And just a minute, there's also the link. Okay, yeah. In fact, I think what I might do is I might share that screen with you, because that's very useful. Let me just make sure that's the right page. It is the right page. Okay. One of the exciting things about working at UWS, and Linda, you might have a view on this. I do think it is a university that is changing very quickly. And as if there is a better way to do things, we're not kind of hidebound by tradition. And one of the things about that is that our own website does change and is being improved constantly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. And yeah, there we go. So can you see something that says study options now? Can people see that?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So
Yes.
thank you. So that has, it will say that information about all these different degrees is on this page. And then you do really have to scroll down. But you do come eventually to this. And the deep link I was talking about earlier, that's where it is. You can click there to apply. And the link I've just now, yeah. Oh, I was wrong about the international fees. They're 6660, but I was right about the in-state ones. It's got two links there. To the professional, how to apply, and yes, and there's also, it will take you to the link I've already put in the chat, which gives you the program specifications. Okay, so that's just, so you'll recognize it. If you're looking for it, you will be able to quickly find the page, and also just take you to the top of it. That's what the top looks like, is the test tubes, and then you have to scroll down to get to more information. And that can sometimes be a barrier, is that when it doesn't show up immediately on the screen, people don't know that if they scroll down, they will see more. So I'm just wondering, does anyone have further questions? Yeah, the other thing I'll just put in the chat is my email again. The closing date is fairly soon. We're going to be a little bit flexible about that. If you've written me an email to say that you're in the process of applying by the 15th of August, we will accept some late applications. But and sometimes, you know, there's difficulties. You're trying to find a certificate, or sometimes references can be slow, particularly at this time of year when people are on holiday. So if you've gotten your CV and your statement of interest in, and you know, your CV, I think we would begin to look at that. As long as you have those components in by the 15th, we would definitely look at your application. So I don't know if there aren't any other questions. I think our session might be at an end, but feel free if you want to go, that's fine. And if you want to hang about, and again, I'll monitor. Okay. Okay, Jillian, yes, it's, I think the 25th is the Saturday, and the 24th, I don't have my calendar up in front of me. Maybe somebody, let me see, I'll get to it, if I can. But from memory, the 24th is the Friday, and the 25th is the Saturday. So I need to move to September and scroll down. Yeah, just a sec. I'm getting there. Yeah, that's right, it is. So it starts the evening of the 24th, and then is on campus all day on the 25th, from 10 to 4:30. Yeah. No problem. Thank you, Jillian.